Hey everyone, this is All Parks, and we're here to tell you about Grandfather Mountain State Park in North Carolina. Located in the town of Linville, about 70 miles northeast of Asheville, Grandfather Mountain has amazing views, great hiking trails, and interesting exhibits. If you're planning on visiting, stay tuned to learn more on what to do, what to see, and what to watch out for. Grandfather Mountain has only recently become a state park when the land was purchased from the Morton family in 2009. Before that, though, it had gained a reputation as a popular place to visit, with tourists traveling to the mountain by horseback and eventually a one-lane road that was built in the early 1900s. In 1952, Grandfather Mountain was under ownership of Hugh McCrae Morton. He constructed the mile-high swinging bridge, which is one of the park's most popular landmarks. In the late 60s, he also purchased 2 black bears in the hopes of releasing them into the wild. The female black bear, called Mildred, had no interest in going back to the wild, so she eventually was given a habitat to live in the park. And today, there are several animal habitat exhibits for viewing. Grandfather Mountain has a $22 fee to enter, and due to COVID, you'll have to reserve a time to go online. Once inside the park, you get a CD, which gives you some history about the mountain and access to all the park attractions like the swinging bridge and the animal exhibits. You can enter the park for free via one of the trailheads outside the park, but you're not allowed to view the exhibits or get to the trails near the swinging bridge. There's more than one parking lot depending on how far you want to walk. If you feel like seeing the mile-high swinging bridge, you can choose to park a short walk away. There's also access to a gift shop, bathrooms, and food. We first saw the mile-high swinging bridge, which is the highest suspension bridge in the country. As the name says, the bridge is a mile up in elevation, and there's an 80-foot drop below. As you cross over, there are beautiful views of Linville Peak and surrounding mountains. This was probably the most crowded area we saw, and we got there around noon. They did space out the number of people on the bridge to help with distancing. On the other side is a rocky area that lets you get some good pictures of the mountains, although it got crowded here too, since there wasn't anywhere else to move out. I would recommend getting there early to avoid the crowds. The next attraction on our list is the animal habitats mentioned earlier. We were able to get a quick shot of one of the bears, although he didn't stick around for other pictures. Besides the bears, there's also habitats for elk, bald eagles, cougars, and otters. The otters were the easiest to photograph and seemed the most playful. There's also scheduled feedings, or what's called enrichment times, throughout the day at the exhibits, which give visitors a better chance of seeing the animals, although there is no guarantee you can clearly see them. Not far from the animal enclosures is an indoor nature museum with collections of minerals and wildlife photographs. Of course, one of the main draws to Grandfather Mountain is the hiking, which really stood out from many of the parts we've visited before. There are 11 trails to pick from, which range from easy to difficult. We took the Grandfather Mountain Trail, which is just under 4 miles, and out and back, with options to make it longer or shorter. It is rated strenuous and includes cables and ladders as part of the hike. This was a lot of fun and definitely gave the trail more of an adventurous vibe. There were a decent number of people on the trail, so a few areas around the ladders did bottleneck a little bit as people made their way up and down. I would say if you have any problems with coordination or fear of heights, this is not the trail for you. But if that's not an issue, I would highly recommend it. While the ladders were the highlight of our visit, there were also really great views of the mountains and a decent chance to see wildlife too. McCrae Peak is a good spot to take a snack break before heading on to Callaway Peak. The trail gets really steep and rocky, so be sure to mind your footing as you make your way to the top. Callaway is one of the tallest peaks at 5,964 feet and can also be accessed through the much longer Profile Trail, which starts outside the park at a trailhead on Route 105. If you take the Grandfather Mountain Trail, as always, bring enough water, good hiking shoes, and common sense when it comes to going up and down ladders on the edge of a mountain. You also have to be back to your car within an hour of the park's closing. A search party will be sent out if you don't make it to the car in time. You can bring pets to the park as long as they are leashed, but not to the animal exhibits or anywhere indoors. RVs longer than 28 feet are not allowed in the park. You will need a permit and a reservation if you want to camp. There are 13 backcountry primitive sites, but car camping is not available. The weather is actually quite cool, even in summer. You might want to bring a light jacket or wear layers for the start of your hike. So I'll admit, I was skeptical about visiting the park since there was a fee. And although it is on the pricey side, there really is a lot to do, and the hiking was a great experience. I would love to go back again and try the Grandfather Mountain Trail again and try the Profile Trail, which we heard was quite a bit more intense. If you visited the park in the past, as always, we'd love to hear your take on it in the comments below. Hit like if you liked, and subscribe if you want to hear more about our travels to national parks, state parks, and green spaces all over. Until next time, this is All Parks.